joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. Topping our newscast tonight, the primaries are only weeks away and registration has ended for those who want to vote in that phase of the election process. At an emergency board meeting on Tuesday, the St. Thomas-St. John Board of Elections continued to iron out some details, including poll workers and personnel issues. News 2's April Knight has the update.
The St. Thomas-St. John Board of Elections met Tuesday, tackling headlong its checklist for the fast-approaching primaries. The list of certified St. Thomas candidates was read on record. Voting machine demonstrations continue according to the board, with machines on display at the election offices. And the election supervisor says more voting machines are on their way to the 3 islands. At Tuesday's meeting, the board also dealt with the selection of poll watchers and poll workers. And even with the primaries less than a month away, challenges continue that could put candidates and ultimately tickets in danger of being thrown out of the race. The latest challenge came from gubernatorial candidate Mileto Smith, who claimed that Basil Otley, his opponent Donna Christensen's running mate, did not fulfill the residency requirements to qualify as a candidate. Otley's camp promptly released a response enumerating the different definitions of residency that Otley fulfilled.
I'm a Virgin Islander. The supervisor of election has already certified my candidacy, demonstrating that I meet all of the qualifications according to the VI code as well as the Organic Act.
The board, however, could not act on the challenge.
That's in the purview of the supervisor of elections. She has already certified the candidates, which includes Christensen and Otley. She has been in contact with legal counsel, and their response will be forthcoming, I would believe, before the end of this week.
Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
The Elections Board reminds voters and candidates that a complete and detailed elections calendar is posted on their website, which is www.vivote.org. Residents can also call their respective district's election office for more information. Meanwhile, the Plaskett campaign is coming under fire for a problem with the website that caused a lot of people to get the candidates' email blasts when they weren't even registered with the site. And that's because of what officials are calling a website glitch. And now one candidate wants an investigation. News 2's Erica Parsons has that story.
Both the Stacey Plaskett for Congress website and the governor's official website seem to be working fine now, but up to a few days ago, anyone who signed up on Governor DeYoung's website for official emails received a message saying Stacey Plaskett mailing list sign up. That's according to an Avis News report sparked by an op-ed piece in that paper. Hundreds of email blasts from the Plaskett campaign went out to the governor's email distribution list. Representatives from both Government House and the Plaskett campaign are calling it a glitch. That glitch was enough to have former Senator Emmett Hansen, who's also in the race for the congressional seat, file a complaint with the Federal Elections Commission. While our calls to the Plaskett camp weren't returned in time for this report, both Plaskett and Government House told the Avis that they used the same website contractor out of Boston, and that's what caused the problem. News 2 contacted a local web developer who said it's quite possible for old content to remain on a website that has been developed from a previously used template. Upon creation of that new site, a developer would edit and add new content and functionality. There are likely numerous lines of code ranging from the hundreds to the thousands, therefore it can be easy to overlook a single snippet of code that needed to be updated. Plaskett told the Avis the company Into Innovations will be issuing a news release explaining the glitch, but still it doesn't inspire confidence in some voters.
It seems like they're all in cahoots together because that wouldn't make sense, you know?
Nor confidence in at least one congressional candidate who still wants answers. Erica Parsons, News 2.
Government House spokesman John Griot said the web contractor N2 Innovations has provided webmaster services for the Office of the Governor for the past 5 years. We'll put this on your calendar. St. Croix AARP members are inviting you, meanwhile, to participate in a demonstration of the new voting machines from 9 a.m. to noon on Saturday at the Sunny Isles AARP State Office. In addition to the voting machine demonstration, AARP VI, they're launching a new VI Wants to Know campaign that will utilize social media to encourage voters to communicate with candidates about hot-button issues. They will also conduct events to encourage voters to write specific questions to specific candidates that will be posted to the AARP VI Facebook and Twitter pages. In some other news, Angel Negron Beltran was sentenced in district court to 38 months in prison for conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute cocaine. Negron Beltran, 53 years of age, was arrested as part of the investigation of Roberto Tapia, director of the Virgin Islands DPNR Division of Environmental Enforcement. On November 7, 2013, Negron Beltran was charged in a 69-count indictment along with 7 other defendants. On January 29, 2014, Negron Beltran pleaded guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute cocaine. In addition to the 38 months incarceration, Negron Beltran was placed on 4 years supervised release in order to pay a $100 special assessment. Police are investigating a midnight shooting outside Image nightclub on St. Thomas. Police officers collected several spent shell casings in Frenchtown outside the nightclub after a male was reported being wounded by gunfire just after midnight on July 7th.
The victim told police that he parked and got out of his car near the Frenchtown ballpark when he heard shots being fired and then realized that he had been shot. He told police that he sought cover behind a parked vehicle and was taken to the Schneider Regional Medical Center in a private vehicle. The victim was struck on his chin and grazed on his ear and left shoulder, according to medical staff. Criminal Investigation Bureau detectives are following up on this case.
Turn our attention overseas. Since October, more than 52,000 children have been apprehended illegally entering the U.S. Now, President Obama is asking Congress for emergency funds to deal with the influx of immigrants crossing the border. Craig Boswell is on Capitol Hill with the details.
So many young immigrants have crossed the border illegally in the last several months that President Obama is calling it a humanitarian crisis. He's requesting $3.7 billion in emergency funds from Congress to deal with the issue.
What we'd like Congress to do is act promptly to consider this proposal and hopefully move on it in bipartisan fashion.
The money would be used to expand detention facilities to house the immigrants as well as provide care for them while in custody. It would also be used to hire more judges to expedite hearings. And it would fund a task force to work with governments in Central and South America to disrupt smuggling rings. Many lawmakers agree this is a crisis and that something has to be done, but there's plenty of debate about how emergency funds will be used and where the money comes from.
What disappoints me so much with the president's request, he's asking for a blank check, in essence, $3.7 billion, but no reform.
Felipe Sousa Rodriguez came here as an undocumented immigrant 14 years ago. He says turning these kids away is a death sentence.
We have a choice as a country. Are we going to send children to die, or are we going to bring them in and protect them?
But the White House says it will enforce the law. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Washington.
Meanwhile, keeping our eye on the economy, Ford is recalling about 92,000 vehicles in North America because the front axle in some could cause loss of drive function. The recall includes 2013, 2014 Ford Taurus, Police Interceptor, sedans and Flex, the Lincoln MKT and MKS, and 2012 Ford Edge and Lincoln MKX. A government survey found that 4 in 10 American households only use cell phones rather than landlines, and that's twice as many as 5 years ago. But the pace seems to be leveling off. Experts say many people hold on to their landlines because the service is part of a cable or TV package. Here's the New York Stock Exchange with our stock market watch. Everything Dow, the Dow 117, NASDAQ 60, S&P 13. Coming up on News 2, our Summer Fun segment, another fun event you can add to your list of things to do this summer. How about an icy cold retreat to cool off the summer heat? The magical details coming up. Plus, why is this historical 70-year-old mahogany tree getting the axe? It's a landmark. However, National Park reps say this tree in the Christiansted Historical Site will be removed. One person was taken by ambulance from Radio Shack on Tuesday afternoon for a smoke inhalation because of a nearby fire. Crews battled a brush fire that started behind Sunny Isle Shopping Center. Fire officials said a call came in around 1:30 about the fire, and they were able to get it under control within an hour. Meanwhile, the shopping center quickly filled with smoke, and shoppers were seen covering their faces from the smell. Health officials confirmed that one person was taken to the Juan Louis Hospital and is being treated for respiratory problems. Some businesses, including WAPA, closed early afternoon and plans to reopen tomorrow. Meanwhile, the National Weather Service of San Juan did issue a red flag warning around 10 a.m. this morning until 5 p.m. this afternoon, and that means that critical fire weather conditions are either occurring or will occur within the next 24 hours. They say a combination of fuels and weather conditions support extreme fire danger and/or fire behavior. Low-level instability was also on the increase today, further enhancing the fire threat. People are urged to exercise extreme care with respect to outdoor activities that could cause wildfires. Avoid any equipment that can cause sparks near dry grass or brush. Do not toss cigarettes on the ground. Report new wildfires to the fire department. A tree that's been standing in Christiansted for more than 70 years will be cut down next week. National Park Services officials say the mahogany tree next to the Customs House poses a storm threat to the building and phone lines. Agency officials have hired a contractor to supervise trimming the park's trees and an agroforestry specialist to oversee the removal of the mahogany tree.
The problem with the tree, with this mahogany tree, is that one, it's too close to this building. This building is over 200 years old. The tree is only 70. Today it's causing a great deal of problem. You can see that this well is being uprooted because of the root system. It's breaking it apart. The building, which is the Customs House, is being impacted. The root system has gone under the building and is starting to lift some of the foundation. The fencing, the sidewalk is going to, if it continues, it'll go into the street. So it would be prudent of the National Park Service to take it out now before hurricane season.
The Committee on Economic Development, Agriculture and Planning, chaired by Senator Jeanette Millen-Young, considered several zone permits, including one allowing for the expansion of the Crown Bay Channel Tuesday at the Earl B. Otley Legislative Hall. The permit was unanimously approved. Majority Leader Senator Donald G. Cold stressed the importance of the zoning request approvals for the territory to remain a top contender for tourist traffic. The committee also considered Bill number 30-0339, which is an act relating to the Hotel Development Act of 2011. That measure, sponsored by Senator Sean Michael Malone, by request of the governor, eliminates developers from taking advantage of the incentive for territorial economic growth on the minor islands throughout the territory. Many St. Thomas St. John passengers had the opportunity to sail the seas in new vessels. The two new ferry boats, Cruise Bay 1 and Red Hook 1, went into service during the holiday weekend starting on Thursday. The two ferries, which arrived on island more than 5 months ago, are owned by the government and operated by the government franchises, Transportation Services, and Varlec Ventures. The two ferries are 84-foot aluminum catamarans that can carry about 200 passengers each. The ferries both received final inspections last week. The funding for the ferries are $3.25 million for each. Time for our summer fun segment. Want to experience the winter wonderland of the Virgin Islands? Well, it's 35 degrees every day, no matter the season. You can bring the family and friends to the Magic Ice experience. The exhibition features dozens of intricately carved ice sculptures in a 10,000 square foot tooth-shattering building. Perfect for a mini getaway this 85 degrees sunny summer weather we have. In fact, Magic Ice is rated as one of the top things to do in St. Thomas by TripAdvisor. In the Ice and Snow Gallery, you'll find sculptures that highlight the rich history of the Caribbean, such as the shipwrecks, piracy, and lighthouses, while enjoying the enchanting lighting and lively music to give you the total magical experience. Magic Ice is located on the waterfront, Veterans Drive. They're welcoming individuals and groups alike. They are open daily from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Soccer fans around the world are enjoying one of the most exciting FIFA World Cup ever. Meanwhile, McDonald's, the official restaurant of the 2014 FIFA World Cup Brazil, welcomed Fuleco, the official FIFA World Cup Brazil mascot. And he came to the Virgin Islands. He visited the McDonald's St. Thomas restaurants at Lockhart Gardens and Tutu and the Golden Rock and Villa Lorraine location on St. Croix. That was June 28th and 29th. Customers were treated to a VIP event complete with face painting, balloon, animal artists, and music. Now, during his visit, Fuleco posed for photos, danced, and even played some soccer. Whistles and coupons for a free ice cream cone, they were all handed out. McDonald's invites all who had professional portraits taken with Fuleco to return to the store they visited to receive a free copy of their photo on Friday, July 11th. So be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.